From the glossary. Codon. I might do two here. A section of DNA made up of 3 base pairs and which codes for a specific amino acid. There are a total of 64 codons in human DNA. The 64 gene keys allow you to directly communicate with the 64 codons in the DNA of every cell in your body through the law of resonance. Through contemplation, absorption, and embodiment of the gene keys, you will raise the frequency of vibration in the 64 codons, thus unlocking the secrets of your higher nature. Beautiful, simple set of statements that really encapsulate the whole of the gene keys. There's this resonant field that we are contemplating as we come into the gene keys work, as we come into understand them, and as we come into really penetrate them with our mind, with our emotions, and then ultimately into our physical body. The absorption of the gene keys takes time. That the body is having to soak up the truths that there are 3 layers to everything. That these shadows are suffering, are here to be transformed, and that we must transform it, and then we enable the higher aspects of our nature to flower through that process. But it's all through the law of resonance into the body, because through this universal code of the 64 and these codons. I'll also do the codon rings. A codon ring, a chemical family within your body made up of 1 or more codons. There are a total of 21 codon rings, each one relating to a specific amino acid or stop codon, or a start codon. The codon rings are transgenetic chemical families that operate across entire gene pools, drawing certain people together naturally in pairs, groups, and ultimately forming whole societies. The codon rings are the biological machinery behind what the ancients called karma. The manner in which they interlock forms the geometric unified field underpinning humanity, and as human DNA mutates in order to carry the higher frequencies that are coming with the great change, the 21 codon rings will bring humanity into the biological realization of its true nature and unity. So a bit of a mystical one. There'll come a time when I can go deeper into the codon rings. They're a very profound field of study within the gene key synthesis, because they show this workings of the Maya, of the illusion, of the fabric, the very fabric of the universe, and they offer answers to all the questions of the universe through those rings. They are groupings of gene keys, families of gene keys. So within the 64, there's also these 21. And actually it's really 22. There's a mystery because one of the families has an extra one hidden inside it, a ring within a ring. And so there's 22. So it relates to the sacred alphabets that are based on the number 22, master number. Like the Hebrew alphabet, the tarot, those kind of things. And it describes the means and the manner in which our entire universe is kind of threaded together, the codon rings, and how it is, it says here that the geometric unified field underpinning humanity, and as the DNA mutates in order to carry higher frequencies, it's the codon rings that will bring humanity into the biological realization of our true nature. So there's a way through which the codon rings work through our kind of field that link us together, that bring together relationships, that bring together families, societies, that help us to actually create these collective intelligences that then form a higher grid of collective intelligence through humanity. So first of all, the codons have to come into a resonance inside the individual, and that's what we do with the gene keys to begin with. And then we apply that to the relationship through the Venus sequence, which actually starts to bridge that, the 2 auras, those two two sets of codon rings, two sets of codons, so those 64 coming into higher resonance through a partner. And then that then begins to emanate out into a small grouping, whether it's 3, 4, 5 people, something like that, a family or a unit. And that starts to bring together these groups, these groupings of people who are connected at a very profound level. This is how the awakening will work. This is how over centuries, so you'll find these groups that come together through time and space, and they're being brought together by these sacred alphabets in our DNA. They're actually through the karmic resonance, through the field, so that certain people will help unlock and complete each other, so that you end up with these unified geometric fields, these grids through time space. And then that gets translated out, those small groupings, those units of people as they come together, whether they're families, whether they're just they're kind of energy families. It then begins to create societies and networks and communities that are communities that are awakening. The entire community is awakening, but it's made up of these building blocks, and then finally societies, and then finally humanity. That's the means by which the codon rings will bring us together, through these building blocks. So quite a deep mystery there, and look forward to one day going deeper into it.